Good afternoon. Welcome. Welcome to the show. This show is called
Sunday Chat.
It's Saturday afternoon. It's a little bit later than we normally do it. We normally do it earlier. First thing, early. Get it out of the way.
Yeah.
So we're done. But no, not this week. Because I said to Paul, I said last night after dinner, I said, Paul, I've got to get out. I've got to get out for a walk tomorrow morning. And Paul said, what about Sunday Chat? I said, sod Sunday Chat. Forget it. We're going out. We're going to the Chilterns. So we did. We popped in Vanilla and went to the Chilterns. Yeah, Sunday Chat can wait. It can wait. There's better things to do than sit here talking to a camera. Really. Really. No, I'm joking. Of course we enjoy doing it. Don't we, Paul?
Yes.
We enjoy doing it for you. Anyway.
You didn't say we were going to the Chilterns.
I said we're going out. Anyway, we've moved on now, Paul.
Yeah.
That bit's done. Finished.
I was just going
Let's
back.
not go over things
I
repeatedly.
was just correcting.
So, in news this week, it's summer. Summer has arrived finally to London. And it brings with it all of the joys that summer brings.
But we are actually in meteorological summer, aren't we?
Summer has arrived and brings all the joys that summer brings. Like screaming children in gardens for hours on end. Really?
I don't know what they feed these children these days.
It's driving me mad. It drove me mad last night.
It did.
They were clearly hosting a little
Soiree.
children of the neighbourhood come to us tonight thing. It's our turn to have the kids. Boy, did they have the kids.
Yeah. We had to shut the windows.
A summer's evening, we had to shut all of the windows because of the incessant screaming. Just drives me insane. This is why I don't like summer, Paul. No, it is.
Well, we'll live in a fridge then.
It's the noise. It's other people's noise. Other people's total inconsideration for others, especially families with children.
Well, families by default have children.
No, Paul, I don't think so.
Or are children.
There are families of many different types.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you
that's
very
true.
much, Paul.
Biological, I suppose.
Thank you.
And non-biological as well.
You know, for example, if we had decided to host a soiree of our own with mature people in our garden,
Do we know any?
we would have been assaulted by noise and hit by footballs. Literally, in our own back garden. I mean, it's really, it's beyond a joke now, actually.
You're throwing balls back every day, aren't you?
Yeah, there were 6.
He's just tossing them over.
6.
Constantly.
Well, the ones that are there at the moment are staying.
Oh?
They might go back with a rose thorn in them. Oh, you hit my rose bush. Sorry, you all popped. Seriously, it's really getting on me.
He did.
Nerves.
He
It
did
really
come
is.
to me the other. I was doing something on my phone here on the teal sofa, and you stood in the doorway, didn't you? And you said, "Paul, we're going into the garden to make lots of noise," like that, didn't you? I didn't know what he meant at first.
Well,
and then,
what happened
penny
was
dropped.
what happened was they decided to get a pool out the other day, a little paddling pool.
That's right.
And the screams and whatever else then escalated horrendously. And then I noticed a few hours later, the children had gone and the parents were in the garden relaxing. So I thought, right, Paul and I, we should go out there and have a water fight now.
That's right.
and scream our heads off.
Do you know this is just desserts though?
For what?
For when you were a child and you were noisy and intrusive and all of those things that you used to be as a child, which of course I wasn't, being a little angel.
But we were actually told off for being noisy by our own parents. They leave their children in the garden for 2 hours at a stretch and just allow them to run wild.
Wouldn't you?
I wouldn't have kids. So,
we chose not to.
yeah. You know, who wants to bring children to this planet,
No,
frankly?
absolutely.
Anyway, and in further news this week, we have the G7 summit in Cornwall. Really? Cornwall? Did you see the Queen? Did you see what the Queen said, Paul?
Yeah.
Bless her. Classic Queen. Classic Queen.
Classic clever Queen.
Turns to Mr. Johnson and says, "Aren't you supposed to be looking as though you're enjoying yourself?" Classic Queen.
Because that actually means something quite specific.
Yeah, because if she'd have been talking about herself or talking in general, she would have said one.
Yeah. Is one supposed to?
Isn't one supposed to be looking as though one's enjoying oneself? She would have said that. So she was pointing that straight at Bojo.
Yeah, who wasn't enjoying himself, of course.
Bojo the buffoon.
Because he's being beaten up by the EU and by Biden.
Anyway, let's not get political.
Well, it's not being political, it's just true. Because he's an idiot.
But Cornwall, of all places, little old Cornwall, isn't that just playing into this idea that little old England's all cute and quaint?
Yeah, it is.
All cute and quaint and tiny and insignificant.
They should have done it at, Grenfell Tower. Then they'll know really what the UK's like.
Oh. Anyway, let's move on.
But the Queen, because it's she had her trooping of the colour this morning.
Trooping the colour today.
So
celebrating the Queen's birthday.
Which was in April.
But this is the official birthday.
This is the official birthday. So she has the trooping of the colour, which is usually a huge affair outside Buckingham Palace.
She had a mini one.
She had a mini one.
A mini one at Windsor.
At Windsor, which still had the red arrows.
Of course.
So it was great.
Naturally.
But the interesting thing for me is she's there looking bright and sprightly at 95 at 10 o'clock this morning at Windsor. Where was she last night?
She was in Cornwall at the Eden Project.
She was in Cornwall.
Hosting an evening soiree of whatever.
At the Eden Project.
Well, she'd have had a nice little car home, wouldn't she, or a helicopter?
Or maybe I think a train.
And probably had a little snooze on the way.
Do you know why Windsor has got 2 train stations?
Because one's the Queen's.
No, it's not because of that.
No? Oh.
It's because Queen Victoria loved trains so much. She decided that Windsor should have 2 train stations.
You know what? I've got something to say about this. Our Queen, she's beaten the shit out of Victoria, hasn't she? Because what did Victoria do when her husband, her beloved Albert, died? She went into 20 years of mourning, didn't she?
But that was the thing then, wasn't it?
No,
she was like wearing ponchos in the 70s.
No, Paul. She made it the thing.
Oh, yes, she did.
She made it the mourning in black and stretching out the mourning forever. She made it the thing because she did it. Everybody else did it. That's where we get all this crap left over from the Victorian age. Look at old Queenie. She's bounced back. She's already doing engagement. She's out and about, enjoying herself.
Did you see
probably
her
having
cutting,
a little drink?
Did you see her cutting the cake with the big sword?
And they said, "There is a knife." And she went, "I know there's a knife. I'll use the sword." Like a samurai.
You've got to love our 95-year-old Queen.
We do love her. We're not royalists, but we do love the Queen. We've grown up with the Queen.
We have.
Haven't we?
And for those of you who might not have been watching us for too long, the Queen is also the head of Guernsey and Jersey, the bailiwicks of Guernsey and Jersey, but not under really the Queen of England, under the title the Duke of Normandy. Isn't that confusing? So when the Queen used to come to the Channel Islands when I was a kid, it was like the Duke of Normandy arrives, Queen of England, Duke of Normandy. And I thought, that's confusing. That's confusing. Maybe she was sort of like, thinking about trans communities early on, and that's why she was doing that.
Yeah, I'm bored now. Anyway, let's get on with what we've got to talk about. It's a quick one this week, because I need an afternoon nap, frankly.
You've already had a brief one.
No, that wasn't a nap. That was 40 winks.
We were watching Murder, She Wrote. We were having our lunch and watching Murder, She Wrote, and that finished. Well, we finished our lunch. We were watching the rest of Murder, She Wrote, and we were both falling asleep.
Well...
And I kept on sort of like dozing and then waking up and thinking, gosh, this is really complicated.
But the thing is, Paul, we're waking up at 5:30 every day. So by the time it gets to 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm ready for a break. I'm ready for a good siesta, frankly, especially in this weather, which we'll move on to now, Paul.
What now?
Now it's time for the weather report with Richard and Paul. So, Paul, what's the weather been like this week? Well, I'm glad you asked, Paul. It's been beautiful again.
It's been hot.
Hot.
Not hot to many of you, but hot for the UK for this time of year.
Yeah,
really.
people would be going, oh God, in England, people are so funny saying it's hot. What is 25 degrees?
Yeah.
That's why I can hear you all now. Shh. This is hot for us.
Oh, yeah, I can hear them. You're
Yeah, I
right.
know.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. So, Monday.
It's
Monday?
humid as well,
It's
though.
humid,
That's
yeah.
the thing. It's not a dry heat like Spain. You can go to Spain, it can be 32 degrees, and you're like, this is lovely. Here it's 24, 25, and it's humid, and you're like, kill me now.
Why have you got a big coat on?
Because I felt a little chilled after my little mini nap earlier. And one has to make an effort, I find.
It has been dry this week, and it looks as though it's going to continue to be dry for us.
Although we have had cloud, Paul.
Though other areas of the UK have had rain.
Yes.
Though where they have said they were going to have rain in Wales, I don't think some of our subscribers have had rain. So, yeah, it's been dry. There's needed to be a lot of watering at the plot.
My petunias have been thirsty too.
His petunias are always thirsty.
Very thirsty. They're thirsty, those petunias. Thirsty, thirsty girls.
They are. And they've got fantastic purple heads, haven't they?
Purple heads.
Absolutely
and
lovely.
the most divine scent.
Mm.
Jim's been growing them, haven't you, Jim? He was telling me about their fragrance.
There we are.
Lovely.
Jim's petunias. Does that come after his melons? Yeah, there we are.
What do you mean, does it come after his melons?
Well,
What do you mean, Paul?
in the videos.
Well, he showed his petunias in a video.
I haven't seen that.
No, well, I have.
I popped
Thank
Babs
you.
up the other day.
I don't know who Babs is, sorry.
Babs is one of our melons in the polytunnel.
I don't watch your videos, Paul. I
No,
thought
I
you
know.
knew that.
I do.
So, beautiful weather, gorgeous, sunny, humid, dry. Breezy, with a nice breeze, actually. That's why I had the windows open last night, because there was a lovely breeze to blow through the house. Which is always good. It's good to give the house a blow through. The minute you see a breeze in the evening, open all your windows. It's gorgeous. And you get the scent of a summer garden.
Well, you get the scent of the palms at the moment, the cabbage palms.
Oh, the cabbage palms, covered in bees.
It's funny, they're smelling quite sweet at the moment.
Alexa, stop. Stop interrupting. They're smelling quite sweet at the moment, yes, I know.
They are.
Yeah.
Sometimes they smell a bit like cat pee.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Not
when they
to
go a
me,
bit
they don't.
over. Yeah.
No, that's just you, Paul. So gorgeous. but variable weather. The north has had lots of, doodahs sweeping in, weather systems sweeping in.
Has it?
Sweeping Scotland, Northern Ireland, West Wales. They've had a lot of weather. We're staying with the Azores High.
Well, everyone has weather.
Yeah, when I say weather, I mean weather. Lively weather. Weather.
Well, you need to clarify that,
Oh,
don't you?
Paul, you need to read between the lines. So, anywho, Paul.
Yes, Greta.
What?
Greta had snow, didn't she?
Oh, she did. She did.
Yeah,
I
so
know.
Greta put up
Poor
a
things.
video of them having snow, which is even late for them. I think 10th or 11th
We
of
have
June.
had snow in June. I remember
Well, we
it.
have, but not like that.
I think it was 1978. Yes, it was 1978 because I kept a diary as a child. And I remember telling you and you went, oh, don't be ridiculous. And then we were watching a programme on extreme weather events and they showed it, didn't they?
What,
and I
your
said,
clip?
What clip? I didn't make a clip. They didn't have cameras then, Paul.
Well, I think they did.
Not available to a 10-year-old child
Oh, right, okay.
living in working class northwest of England. I think you're fine, Paul. We had little bits of paper and a little slate and things like that.
And chalk.
And chalk. No, I recorded it because we had a day, and I remember writing, we've had all weathers today. We've had sun, we have had sun and, and snow. And then we watched a programme and it showed a Derbyshire cricket pitch. And I think it was 1978. It might have been, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't. It was 78. And they showed this cricket game being, stopped by snow in June.
Right, you can have hail.
So it does happen. No, it was snow, baby.
I know it was snow, but you can also
Okay.
have hail. That's quite common.
Yeah. Anyhow, let's move on with the show this week. What has it been like this week for us? Here, in the world.
In
Now.
West London.
What's happened this week?
We've had a
We went to Kew, didn't we?
we went to Kew. No, first
Yes,
of
we
all,
did.
we did something else.
What did we do?
We had something else.
What did we do?
We had the men around
What?
in the back garden.
We went to Kew first, before that.
Did we?
We went to Kew.
Oh, we went to Kew on Thursday. Yes,
On
we did.
Thursday.
I've got all my days wormed up.
Wormed up?
Yeah.
Is that some kind of new expression that you've just made up?
Yeah. Hashtag wormed up.
Oh, Paul, don't make things up. Stop it now.
We went to Kew on Thursday, the day of the solar eclipse.
L'eclipse
Soleil.
soleil. Yeah, but we didn't see it, did we?
It did feel a little bit lovely and watery, didn't it? And I must admit, I thought,
It was only
gosh,
20%.
it's looking a little bit greyer than normal, but it was overcast anyway
It was overcast, and I was glad of it being overcast, Paul.
because of the
Because it was
photography.
cool.
Oh, cool! Right.
It was cooler. It was an idyllic day. I tell you, this time of the year to visit Kew is absolutely ideal because the shrubs and the trees, some trees are still in flower, there are plenty of shrubs in flower, and literally,
flowers in flower
and flowers
as well.
and flowers and roses in flower and blah 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 blah.
Well, roses are shrub.
Every corner you turn, there's a new waft of scent. And you're sort of running around thinking, where's that scent coming from? It is divine, I'm in heaven now.
You did do that at one point,
Yeah.
didn't you?
And it's
We went into this
I
copse.
was talking.
And there were 3 different trees in flower, and you went to one.
And I said, it's not that one.
It's not that
It's
one.
not that one.
And then I went to one.
And I said, it's not that
Not
one.
that one.
I said,
And then
"It's
we went to the other
this
one. It was that one.
And I went inside the tree.
You did.
And it was like a snowstorm of petals falling with bees buzzing,
Yeah, the bees weren't falling.
enjoying the nectar of the flower. I don't know what kind of tree it was, don't ask me. But it was beautiful. And it is kind of like slightly dreamlike when you're at queue and there's hardly any people.
We went early because members occasionally, I think at the moment quite a lot, but you can get early opening from 8 o'clock. It normally opens at 10, so we got there about 8:15. We did, and there was nobody in the car park.
Well, there were 2 cars that looked like public cars, and there were a few work-type vehicles.
Yeah, but they park the other side
the other
of the
end
car
of the
park.
car park, so
Yeah.
you know who's the worker and who's the public.
Yeah. There were 2 ducks in the car park, weren't there?
And it was empty. And it is kind of, going back to what I was saying earlier before I was rudely interrupted by you, Paul, it is kind of like a bit dreamlike because you're, oh, pardon me.
Yeah, pardon you. Yeah.
Oh, you're walking around these beautiful gardens with nobody.
Botanic gardens.
And everything's kind of perfect. There's no danger of stepping on a dog turd, for example. Perhaps a goose turd.
Well, yeah, they can be pretty big.
But, you know, there's no litter. It's just all gorgeous. It's well maintained. You feel safe and secure. You know, you're not going to walk around a corner and be faced with a gang of drug dealers or people shooting up in a bush. No, you're not. It's this sort of perfect feeling, and there's always something new to see. There's always a new installation.
Oh yeah, there were a few.
There were a few. There was
an odd one.
Please be seated, with that strange seating.
Oh yeah, that was lovely.
And then those gardens on raised stilts.
They were steel
levels.
beds on steel stilts.
Which was quite incredible because I said to you, didn't I? That's kind of no bigger than our garden.
Yeah, it wasn't any bigger than our garden.
I mean, can you imagine having that in your garden?
That would be great.
You could block out the view of other houses because you've got different levels.
And you still have the area underneath.
And still have the area underneath to have a table or whatever. Really nice idea, actually.
And it was highlighting, that one and another one were highlighting hedgerows and the importance of hedgerows.
And also showing that actually you can have a container garden
with trees
anywhere that you want. Really, seriously. With a little bit of maintenance, you could have all of that.
Yeah.
You know, it would cost a fortune, clearly, to have built.
Well, yeah, to have that built, yeah.
But, you know, actually you could do it in wood, as long as you could replace sections.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Interesting.
I suppose
Very
so.
Interesting. And then, of course, we had...
But there was one, wasn't there? That was... It was highlighting how urban roofs should be covered in grass and things.
Yeah.
And it's right at the entrance to, or near the entrance of Brentford Gate, which is where we go in.
Because of the car park.
And it looked like a play area, a children's play area.
Yeah.
And in fact, clearly, its design is wrong because it has the whole shape of it entices children to play on it. And actually, there's then signs saying "Do not climb." And there was a person at 10 o'clock when we came back. There was a person there to make sure that nobody climbed onto this because it just looked like a play area.
Actually, what happened, Paul, is we walked past it and we said at the time, that looks like a mistake.
Yeah.
It's primary and bright colours in very basic shapes. So you've got rectangles, circles, triangles.
And they're like little houses.
And they do look like a play area. And they're all grown in plants. And we kind of walked and said, whoever designed this didn't think about it very well. And as we walked past, we saw the sign saying no climbing and both went, exactly.
That's why there's a
because
sign
this
there.
is so enticing to children. And as we were walking...
That's a good word.
As we were walking back, like you say, there was a member of staff. But did you notice, as we were walking along, the child that went, ah, and ran towards it?
Yeah.
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 And I thought, there you go. And we said to the member of staff, this was a bit of a mistake, wasn't it? And she went, how do you mean? I said, well, bright colours, bold shapes. This looks like a children's playground. She said, I know. They've been climbing on it and have ruined several parts of it already.
And that's why she was there to stop people doing that.
And I did say to her, well, paint it black. Make it gothic.
Yes.
Anyway, and she sort
I
of
don't
looked
think
at me
you'd
and
have
laughed
goths climbing it.
nervously.
Yeah, and I totally confused the ticket guy, didn't I?
Oh, Paul, move on
Oh,
now.
yeah, and we saw a couple having sex, didn't we?
What?
Right in the middle, right in the open, a couple having sex.
What? I think you were in a parallel universe. 'Cause
No.
I didn't see that.
No, by the long table, by the Mad Hatter's table.
No.
She was going, take me, and he was going, I'm trying.
What? What?
The
No.
big bumblebee and the little bumblebee.
Good God.
We were walking along the road and there was a
You
big
saw two
bumblebee.
bumblebees having sex. I thought you meant people.
Oh, well, you're just being silly
Yeah,
now.
let's move on now, Paul. That really wasn't very funny. It just confused me.
Absolutely.
Oh, the sun's gone
Oh,
in.
look, the sun's gone.
I think we've been plunged into darkness, Paul.
Yes, maybe it's an alien invasion.
Maybe it's time to say goodbye.
Because that's what happens, isn't it? When there's an alien invasion, it always all goes dark. Yeah, because the big disc comes down, it's spinning, it casts the shade over everything. Yeah.
I do apologise,
I've seen it.
viewers. Anyway, let's move on now, Paul. Final segment of the show. What have we watched on television this week, Paul?
No,
Yeah?
no,
That's it. We're moving on
No.
now. That's it. We're done.
no,
Finished.
no.
What do you want to say?
Tree surgery.
Oh, God, I forgot about that one. You've seen it on YouTube anyway, the little clip. But we did have the men in to do tree surgery. That's Tom Boswell's Tree Surgeons and Felling Service.
They were brilliant.
They were excellent. This is not a paid promotion.
No.
Really, really recommended if you're living in the Ealing area.
Ealing, Richmond, West London.
West London.
South West London.
Competitive prices, excellent service, lovely, lovely group of young men who did the work, and they were a pleasure to work with, checked with us throughout the job that they were doing what we wanted and that it was looking okay. The only thing I will say is that it trampled on a couple of my plants.
Yeah, but that's going to happen. You know, it is going to happen. If you had left the lawn completely wide rather than making the borders so big and the lawn so narrow, because they had to take out huge branches, you know, that's what you drag it. Yeah. Anyway, they were great.
So it's my fault.
It's your fault.
It's my
completely.
fault that they trampled on some of my plants.
That's right. Yeah.
I do accept that any kind of work that you have done in a narrow space, there will always be casualties. Always. But they did throw one of the tools right into the middle of my border.
I'm sure it was by accident.
I don't think it was.
I was upstairs at my desk doing some work, and the guy who was doing the eucalyptus, he was about 15 feet from the top of the eucalyptus, which is about, I think it must have been about 70 foot high, mustn't it?
Dunno.
Anyway, really tall. And he'd cut off the lower branches from where they were going to chop it down to. And then I looked out the window and I thought, oh my God, he's really high, you know, but obviously he knows what he's doing. And he was chopping off the branches so that they could then take it down in stages. And then he went up another 5 feet. And I thought, I can't watch this. So I stopped my work and I came downstairs because I was actually scared of watching him.
And they've done a lovely job, and they've left a piece at the top so the crown will fill out.
Mm.
And what I do like about this piece at the top is it clearly demonstrates to the neighbours who have complained. Basically.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
But he did that so that the crown would bush out, wouldn't he, at that level?
Just like that.
And then it would sort of bush out below as well. So,
yeah.
But there's so much more light in the garden now.
It looks great. It's kind of like it feels in winter.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do some videos at some point when I've had a proper tidy up. Anyway, let's move on now, Paul. It's almost time to say goodbye.
Oh?
Yeah.
What have we watched this week?
What have we watched? We started the week on a lovely movie, didn't we, Paul?
We did a lovely family movie.
Alexa, stop interrupting me all the time. A lovely family movie.
The Predator.
The Predator. This is a reboot of the Predator franchise from 2018 that we'd not seen. I don't know why we hadn't seen it, and we thoroughly enjoyed it.
I think it's most probably because I wouldn't have paid for it.
We did enjoy watching it,
yeah,
because we do like Predator. We like those movies. Bit of action.
It was quite reminiscent.
But no Arnie.
No Arnie, no. But it was quite reminiscent of the first Predator, which, even though it's quite gory, had some really good humour moments in it, didn't it? And this one did as well.
So that was lovely.
So,
The Predator.
I mean, it was
horror.
a trashy movie, but it was
Horror
really great.
sci-fi fans, recommended. We continue with The Sewing Bee.
Oh.
We continue because we just want to see who wins. Can't we just fast forward and
Well, it's
Google
him or
it?
her, isn't it?
What, Raph or Serena?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah. Could it be could they both win?
What, a double B off?
Yeah.
Not B off. So what?
Boso.
BC.
Boso. Could they do that?
I don't know.
Maybe they'll take a bit of thing from RuPaul and do a double doodah.
Yeah, move on. And then we started the new season of The Hotel Inspector with Alex Polizzi.
Yeah.
We love Alex Polizzi.
Yeah.
She's great. I'll never forget that time she went into that hotel and said, "Alan, you're polishing a turd."
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
Did.
I love her. She tells it like it is. So again, more turd polishing. Really, wasn't it?
It was an interesting one.
It was.
Yeah.
When she told them that they basically had BO.
Yeah, had
They
BO
basically had
and needed
BO
to dress up a
and
bit.
needed to cover her tits up, basically.
Baby, you can't say that.
I can say
you
that.
Can't
I just
say
have.
that.
Tits. That's all lovely. Of course, we have continued with RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under.
We have.
Which is getting to the final... How many now?
27.
Final 5? Final 4?
Final 4, isn't
Final
it?
4.
Final 4, I think. Final 4?
Again, strange season. Not going to talk about it that much because it hasn't really captured us that much, has it?
No, we'll continue watching
Who
it.
left?
I can't remember.
Big girl. Oh, what's her name?
Oh, yes.
She didn't do very well, so she got voted off, clearly. What's her bloody name?
Forgotten.
Can't remember.
I think
that's
it, you see. Yeah.
We're not remembering the queens.
I'm wondering whether if you're Australian or a New Zealander, the Queen's names mean more to you.
Maybe, I don't know. We've also been watching a fascinating series, just did a Pretty Patel.
You
Fascinating. She can't pronounce her INGs,
No.
can she, Pretty? Watched fascinating series.
We're going to be busting down the doors of people that we don't like.
You said the G then.
Busting.
No, you said said the G
down.
because we can't help but pronounce things properly.
Yeah. Even though we're not conservative.
Favourite 90s, what was it? Favourite 90s
Oh,
songs. We
yes.
watched a few of these. And of course the 90s being our era, really. Especially mine.
Yes, that's when you were at your best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved the early 90s. Before I met you.
Yeah, in fact, we met in, was it 93?
93.
And it was a pretty
It's all downhill.
crappy year for music, I thought.
All downhill from then on.
We didn't see the 1990, did we? Or did we?
I think we did.
Did we? He thinks we did.
It was all, you see, the 90s, the early 90s, for those of you who didn't live through it, was all about a real change in music. It was a real revolution because dance music really took over. And if you were a party goer who enjoyed, who enjoyed partying like I did, that's what you enjoyed. Dance music. Full on, well produced, rhythmic, repetitive, hooky dance music. Love it or hate it, it was there, and it was there to stay. And you know, there were so many classics, but really our best time was the early 2000s for music. That's when we were really enjoying pop music again for some reason. Do you remember?
Yeah.
When I was at the Beeb.
Yeah. Oh,
You
gosh,
know.
all that.
Yeah, but we were really enjoying pop music then.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is the first three, so 90, and then I really remember 91, 92, they run down the top 30 of that year, and then they give you near misses. And that top 30, 91, 92, every single song I knew. 93, I think apart from Annie Lennox, I think it took to about number 14 before I actually knew
I don't know
a song.
why, Paul, because all of those records I knew, and I knew them because you used to have your radio on in the mornings.
I don't think...
Yes, you did.
Oh, well, I clearly they weren't memorable for me.
No, because I was in your bed. You were stunned by my beauty.
I was stunned by your photograph of you in... Was that you in Greece?
It was Spain, actually.
Spain, yeah.
I think you were lucky.
Yeah.
Don't know about me. Are we still rolling?
Yeah, so
good.
I'm hoping that actually last night was 94, so we'll catch up on that.
I
this
don't
week.
remember anything from 95 onwards because my mother died in 95.
Yeah.
And that just wiped out the following few years.
Yeah.
Of anything to do with enjoyment. But anyway, let's end on that happy note. Really, it was a long time ago, folks.
We've also been watching Countdown, which we've been enjoying, and Murder, She Wrote.
Of course, the usual things, and of course, A Place in the Sun.
Yeah, we haven't watched much of that this
Well, I
week.
like to be a bit more picky because I only like Jasmine. She's the best. I don't like the other ones.
I think the original ones are the
I
best.
don't mind Johnny Irwin.
Jasmine, Johnny, then Sexy Girl,
Danny.
and the other one. Laura.
They're the good ones.
Yeah, those are the good ones.
The new ones, Scarlett, him and her. No. Terrible. So
That's
anyway,
like a song, isn't it?
That's
No.
That's it for this week's Sunday Chat.
Because there are limits.
No, there are no limits, Paul. No, there's no limit. Too unlimited.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's say goodbye now. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye to everyone. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. I've made that up.
I could tell.
That was quite good, wasn't it?
I could tell. That was it. You've sort of woken up now, haven't you?
That coffee kicked in.
It did. Yeah.
Anyway, we're going now.
We've got to do Sunday Chat
I'm
Extra
quite warm now.
I'm not surprised. You're in your finery, your velvet.
So, it's not
Doodles.
velvet, Paul. It's cotton.
Is it cotton?
Acid washed cotton.
What's velvet then?
Velvet, you can see it's velvet.
Yeah, but
this
what's
is
velvet
not.
made of?
Well, it's not acid washed cotton, Paul. We're saying goodbye. Shush now.
Bye, shush now.
Zip it.
Zip it, bye, shush now.
Say goodbye.
Zip it, bye, push
Say
now.
goodbye now
Zip it, bye,
to
push
everybody.
Now. Zip it, bye, push now. Zip it, bye, push now.
It's turned into something else. Bye.
See you next
Bye.
week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.